July 23rd, 2026 zoning board meeting to order. Who's going to do the roll call? Someone's got to fill in on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Sure. Mr. Kyle?
Here.
Ms. Cornell?
Here.
Ms. Burchot?
Here.
Mr. Trenzow?
Here.
Ms. McKnight?
Here.
Mr. Ball?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, your quorum?
Thank you. We have a bunch of continuances tonight, so we're going to deal with those first for people that are sitting in the audience. Get some of these lawyers out of here. So the first, well, we'll flip on Michelle. The first one is Ashman.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I represent Doris Ashman, Christopher Zangari for the applicant. We did request in writing 2 or 3 days ago moving the matter to September. However, there was a conflict with the board, so I suggested it would be, I believe it was October 23rd, for hearing on the appeal of the issuance of the notice of violation by the building official. So the October meeting.
A motion to continue this to October 23rd.
22nd, I believe, the email.
It was the 22nd. 22nd.
Is it 22nd?
October 22nd.
I'll make that motion.
For a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Zangari.
Mr. Zulico.
Gibson Court Condominium Association, that's being continued as well.
It is. That's at the request of Attorney Karen Auclair. They're working on potentially resolving it. I think they're looking at options about putting the fence back up.
So do we have a date or?
You just check the emails with Heidi. 1 moment, please. Continuance to the August 20th meeting.
Jill, do we need a motion on that?
You do.
Yeah. Can I have a motion to continue Gibson Court to August 20th, 2026?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. To continue to August 20th, 2026. The next matter, which I think is on for a continuance, is Ocean Vibe Development LLC, Mahoney. Mr. McGreen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I was looking for a continuance because my expert witness advised me on Friday that he was going to be on vacation this week. So,
For a date that you have in mind, or that we have available, Jill?
August 20th?
August 20th?
Next month, is that the next meeting?
Do we have room on that?
Let me just confirm that, Mr. Chairman. I don't know. Is the 20th? Thank you.
Are we okay on that day to put it on? I mean, I don't want to, if we have too many
Yeah.
things on, I just want to make sure.
I don't know how many I have on, but
Okay.
we can work through it.
All right, is there a motion to continue Ocean Vibe Development to August 20th, 2026? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Mr. McGreen, August 20th. We're going to just jump back to Michelli. My understanding is that that's been
I can handle that.
withdrawn, but one thing, Nick, that I think the members of the board want to deal with on this thing, because this unmerger concept, I mean, 2 of us on here are lawyers and we don't even understand it, so can we still get a memo or something from you on, I guess there's an old statute, but there's also now a new statute that was passed. So I don't know if we're going to have some items that are falling under the old, and it would be for the benefit of Troy too, that I think, so that we can just grapple with, because I
Yes.
expect this is going to come before.
Something that we
again.
talked to Jay about. I'm sure we could circulate something by email to the board, just for your own education and for the work you put in reading some of this and looking into it yourself. I know we were all curious about the subject matter. Ultimately, this is one that just resolved itself, which is great, but you're curious, so I'll see that you sent something.
Okay, great. So that's off.
Yes.
Are we going to get like a, can we get like a memo or something that,
Yeah.
'cause everybody here is totally confused by that.
On the actual matter itself, or the
Well, not
issue itself.
the issue
Yeah,
itself,
yeah.
this concept of unmerging a lot that's been merged.
That's what can be shared with you.
Yeah. All right, the only substantive matter we have on tonight is Brooks, Plat L, Lot 1-1239, Major Arnold Road. Is someone here for that? All right, the whole audience, here we go.
Good evening, Chairman Kyle, members of the board.
Good evening.
My name is Matthew Grunberg, Grunberg. I'm an attorney with Bilish & Kavanaugh, 30 Exchange Terrace, Providence, Rhode Island. Our firm represents Ms. Alexandra Brooks, who's the applicant before you tonight. She's also the property owner of 39 Major Arnold Road, tax assessor plat L, lot 1-12. Also with me here tonight, we have a representative from American Engineering, who performed the site work and the site survey that you'll see in your agenda packets. We also have Mason Calisi of MLC Design, LLC, who put together the drawing set for the construction documents. We have both Talia Formicola and Lindsay Seddon of House of LT Design. They helped with the design of the project. They'll all speak in a few moments. First, I'll provide a bit of a summary. As you saw in the staff report, Major Arnold Road runs north to south, and the subject property is situated on the eastern side of the road, so it abuts the ocean. There's a coastal feature, which is the seawall on the eastern side of the property. The subject property is in the R10 zone. It's a substandard lot of record measuring 6,935 gross square feet. It's also in the 4.4 coastal resources overlay zone. The existing dwelling on the site that you see here is a 2-story, 4-bedroom home built in 1967. It has a living area of around 1,764 square feet. It also has several exterior decks and enclosed porch spaces, and you can see the shed as well. Notably, this dwelling encroaches into the VE17 velocity flood zone as it abuts the ocean to the east, and it currently does not conform with FEMA regulations. Since the existing home is in this VE zone, any meaningful updates would likely trigger FEMA's substantial improvement requirement, meaning if you do any work that's beyond 50% the value of the structure, you have to make the entire building totally conform. For your reference, based on the tax assessor card, the structure is valued around $266,000. So it's not too hard to imagine some work, some roof repair, some structural repair that, or storm repair that would exceed $133,000, compelling the structure to be fully upgraded. In response to that, Ms. Brooks is proposing to demolish the existing structure and replace it with a prudent, forward-thinking, and site-sensitive design that relocates the structure away from the coastal feature while maintaining a very similar living area to the existing home. Although this reconfiguration does pull the dwelling entirely out of the VE zone and into the X shaded zone, the design team is still using those FEMA guidelines as their framework, elevating the first floor up above the garage and mechanical space. So you'll have a garage on the first floor, which you'll see presented, and then the 2 living floors above that. The result will be 2,065 square feet of total living area with 4 bedrooms, as the existing home has, and 3.5 bathrooms. So in order to accomplish this design, Ms. Brooks is seeking a special use permit to excavate and construct in this 4.4 overlay zone, along with a height variance of 4 feet, 2 5/8 inches, floor area ratio variance of 0.03, which is about 8% or 160 square feet beyond the maximum. The proposed improvements will result in a safe, forward-thinking, FEMA-compliant structure that largely replicates the living area of the existing building, while moving the structure away from the coastal feature. The proposal will also result in a reduced lot area coverage because of the removal of all the decks and other structures. Before getting to our design team, I'd like to speak directly to the requirements of Section 12, the Special Use Permit, subsection 1. I would say that this use is specifically authorized in the table of uses found in 6.1, permitting residential uses in the R10 zone. And the special use is specifically authorized in section 4.4B, which is subparts 1, 3, and 6, which includes excavating, constructing, 1, 3, and 4, installing utilities as required. So this time I'd like to ask Patrick to be sworn in from American Engineering to walk you through the site plan.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you give in the matter now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state and spell your full name for the record.
Patrick Freeman, P-A-T-R-I-C-K, Freeman, F-R-E-E-M-A-N. Thank you.
Mr. Freeman, could you just state your occupation?
Absolutely. My name's Patrick Freeman, sorry, and I'm a registered professional engineer in the state of Rhode Island.
And where are you employed?
I'm employed with American Engineering.
And in your work, do you often prepare site plans in coastal areas and analyze coastal conditions?
Yes, we do.
And did you help prepare the site plan that's in this application?
Yes, I did.
Could you just walk us through and walk the board through the existing conditions on the site?
Absolutely. Would we be able to get the plan?
Just for the record, Patrick's appeared before us a number of times to
Sure, yes.
qualify him as an expert in
Yes,
the
that's all.
purposes of this.
That's all fine, thank you for that info.
Thank you. So the existing conditions plan, you'll see we have an existing dwelling. There's a few associated porches and decks with the dwelling. There's an existing paved driveway on the southerly side of the property. The property is located on the easterly side of Major Arnold Road with the Atlantic Ocean to the east. The existing structure is serviced by an existing connection to public sewer and public water. That's the summary.
Okay, great. Maybe we move to the proposed design and speak to the elements selected and how that design is speaking to the site.
Very good. So the proposed development, we're also proposing a single-family home. We're relocating the paved driveway to the front of the dwelling, also connected to public sewer and public water. We'll be proposing a deck in the backyard that's disconnected from the home. That's relevant to the FEMA floodplains. We'll also be proposing a rain garden in the northeast of the corner of the property. The proposed dwelling is to be located outside of the velocity zone. Disconnecting the deck keeps the main structure out of the velocity zone from FEMA's perspective. The proposed rain garden, it provides water quality treatment for the impervious area of the structure. The existing site didn't have any water quality treatment, so we'll be improving the site in that way. We're proposing silt fence along the northeast and southerly side of the property that can protect the ocean from any siltation, sediment transport. The proposed conditions from a lot coverage perspective, we're reducing the structural lot coverage from 27.74% to 20.5%. The impervious lot coverage, we're also reducing from 26.76% to 22.41%. And roof lot coverage, which is a CRNC standard, but we're also reducing that from 15.72% to 15.14%, while we also meet the hardscape and softscape requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So based on your commentary, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions and show give a brief answer or a brief response to the statement. So one, the proposed project will not interfere with public access to or use and enjoyment of tidal waters and shoreline features.
It will not.
By the way, these are from the 4.4C development standards. Two, the proposed project will not degrade the aesthetic and recreational values of tidal waters or diminish the natural diversity of shoreline features.
No, there will be no impacts. No.
The proposed project will not degrade existing water quality or adversely affect the circulation and flushing patterns of tidal waters or diminish the value of tidal waters or shoreline features as habitats for fish, shellfish, wildlife, and wildfowl.
So we'll be reducing the impervious coverage for the site, therefore reducing runoff. We'll also be providing water quality treatment where none existed, so it'll be overall improvement for the coast.
The proposed project will not increase the volume or velocity of stormwater runoff or sedimentation of tidal waters or exacerbate the potential for shoreline erosion or flooding.
Again, the reduction of the impervious coverage, we're reducing that runoff to the coast.
The proposed project will not diminish the value of any shoreline feature as a storm and hurricane buffer.
No, we won't be impacting the coastal feature in any way.
Any filling, grading, excavating, and other land alteration will be the minimum necessary to construct the proposed project.
Grading for this project is fairly minimal due to the small nature of the site and the fact that we don't need to do much grading in order to grade it. The only grading proposed is actually for the rain garden to create that depression for water quality treatment.
The proposed project will not pose any threat to public health, public safety, or property.
It will not.
And lastly, is this area defined as an area of critical concern?
No.
Okay, thank you. This time I'd like to ask Mason Khalifi to come up and present the construction drawings.
Council, we have like these pointers here, if you want to use them. I mean, sometimes it's helpful to us. If you want to grab one, you're welcome to take it.
Thank you very much.
She helped. You got one? Yeah.
Excuse me, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony given in the matter now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please state and spell your full name for the record.
Mason Calisi, M-A-S-O-N-C-A-L-I-S-E.
Mr. Khaleesi, please state your occupation.
I'm a residential designer and the owner of MLC Design LLC. My work involves residential design, drafting, preparation of permit and construction drawings, coordination with surveyors, engineers, contractors, and other project consultants.
Thank you. Are you familiar with design standards in coastal areas, and is that a major part of your work?
Yes, a significant amount of my work is in coastal areas in Rhode Island. Yes.
And what was your role in this project?
I serve as the architectural designer. I'm not a licensed registered architect, but I serve as the architectural designer working alongside with Lindsay and Talia, designing the house aesthetically and structurally and properly in accordance with the FEMA regulations that we're up against and whatnot.
Thank you. So you prepared this drawing set here?
Yes.
Could you just give us an overview of the design choices and construction methods that you are proposing?
Yeah, so the goal was in general to get a structure in similar likeness to size and use as the existing structure, but also taking into account the flood zone that we were taking ourselves out of, but anticipating being back in the future as that line moves in. So the structure, the foundation was designed by AMR Engineering as a map foundation. So with piers holding the entire structure above the DFE. The inside of the house is, there are 8-inch finished ceilings, so there's nothing excessive about what we're doing on the inside that's creating the height. We've designed the dormer roof is a 4-pitch with a 6-pitch, and we're not doing anything excessive roof-wise. We're trying to be as minimal as possible to conform with the wind zone that we're in, and then the deck in the back. We didn't get any closer to the coastal feature. We actually got a few inches further away from the coastal feature. We have our deck is actually detached in accordance with FEMA's regulations, and it actually keeps the structure from being in the VE zone, but we are complying with the VE zone again in anticipation that we would have to comply in the future to make any changes to the house.
Great, thank you. Could you just describe the 17-foot DFE line that we're seeing here?
And so the 17-foot BFE line is our base flood elevation in this, in the VE zone that we're in. So basically all of our living space has to be at least 1 foot above the BFE, which would be our DFE at 18 feet, which isn't practical to have covered parking without having a garage, without without creating a full story, essentially to have a garage underneath. So that's what led to that.
Thank you. In your opinion, does this site present a unique hardship from which relief sought is due to the unique characters of the subject land?
I would say absolutely, especially when it comes to the floor area ratio. We're in a substandard lot as it is for the zone. And then on top of that, because the FAR is only taking into account the net area, because we have a coastal feature, we go from 6,000 and change square feet of lot as the gross area to 5 and change for the net area, so we lose whatever, 35% of 1,000 square feet to the coastal feature. And then obviously because of where we are in the flood zone height-wise, it would be more than a challenge to have everything that's fit into this house without exceeding the current height regulation.
In your opinion, does this design impair the intent of the zoning ordinance or goals of the comprehensive plan?
I don't think so. I believe no.
And if this variance wasn't approved, would it amount to more than a mere inconvenience?
Yes, in my opinion, a denial would create more than a minor inconvenience or an aesthetic preference. The design must respond to two competing physical requirements. The occupied portion of the house must be elevated for flood safety, but the zoning ordinance also limits the overall building height as measured from grade. Because the lot is undersized, there is also very little room to expand the house horizontally as an alternative. Denial of that relief would require a meaningful redesign of the roof, ceiling heights, floor system, or occupied space, even though the additional height results primarily from elevating the building in response to the flood zone requirements. Similarly, strict application of the floor area ratio limitation to the undersized lot would substantially reduce the functional living that can be provided for an otherwise permanent single-family residence. And lastly, the requested relief is not merely intended to make the home larger, more valuable, or more visually appealing. It is needed to reconcile the site's limited area with flood elevation requirements and to provide reasonable functional use of the property as a single-family residence. For those reasons, I believe hardship would amount to more than just a mere inconvenience.
Thank you.
Counsel, I might have missed, did we move this gentleman as an expert? I just wanted to.
We did not.
Long as-
his opinion and let him go.
Okay, just make sure I didn't miss it, thank you.
Thank you.
But we'll accept him as an expert in this field.
Great.
I think there's a couple of questions.
Certainly. We can take those now or have the team.
Yeah, no, they had some questions specifically about this witness. Yeah.
So, on the FAR calculation, are you calculating it, do you have to calculate it based on the smaller square footage because of the coastal feature? Because you won't, what square footage on the lot are you seem to indicate that.
So
There's a
it's calculated from the net
Net,
lot
right.
area, not the gross.
Okay, what is the gross lot area?
Can you tell me that? Or actually, if the survey, you could pull the survey up.
If I may,
This score,
it's 6,935 square feet
Is the gross?
is the gross.
5,435.
And if you were to calculate FAR on, just for my own, on the gross, what would they would not need relief when you calculated it on the gross?
No, we would
Right.
not.
Okay, no.
And so, and the reason you have to use the net is because the zoning ordinance
That's the rule.
obviously requires it,
Yeah.
but there's a portion of that it's not buildable, so. we can't-
Exactly.
Okay.
And just out of curiosity, if you know, does the current structure meet FAR?
It does not. The current structure would be at 35.98%, coming in at 1,956 square feet, based on my calculation using the tax assessment.
All right.
And ours is 2,099 square feet, so we're basically increasing by 133 square feet from the existing.
think someone had a question, and I'll ask it about the detached deck. I mean, this is more, again, a curiosity question, but how do you, what is a detached deck?
So instead of having a ledger board on your house that you have your deck joists coming off of with joist hangers,
Yep.
you would basically have to have posts that are fully supporting the deck on both sides, and you'd have to have, you know, quarter an inch gap, whatever gap can be achieved safely.
So it can break
So
away
it
in a
breaks
storm.
away.
Well, yeah, exactly, so the deck doesn't tear the house down with it.
Mr.
I
Chairman,
thought it was
it's actually a
interesting too.
building code requirement
It is right in
in the
that.
VD zone.
Great, thank you. Any other questions of this witness? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This time, either Lindsay or Callie or both.
Mr. Jordan, you solemnly swear the testimony you give in the matter now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state and spell your full name for the record.
Lindsay Seddon, and it's Lyndesey, last name Seddon.
Thank you, Ms. Seddon. Could you state your occupation?
I am the co-owner and principal designer of House of LT. We are an interior design firm.
Does your firm practice coastal design such as this one?
Yes, a lot of our work is actually down right in this area.
Okay, and what was your role in preparing this project?
We actually met with the homeowner when she purchased the home, and he then reached out to Mason Casey to team up and help us build the new property as the one that is there now. The more research we did and the more contractors we brought in, we just found that it was not feasible to truly renovate or remodel. It was going to be just as costly or more.
Could you walk us through some of the design choices, maybe as they relate to the surrounding area?
Yeah, so as we were designing the home, we tried to look at neighboring properties that are next to us, and a lot of the houses are doing very similar things with coastal design. So keeping the colors very neutral and simple, no crazy exterior features that are going to drag attention, and we tried to keep the house to the same footprint as most as possible. Right now in the house we have a spiral staircase to get to the second floor that's wobbling, and a lot of the bedrooms are actually triangle shaped, and you can't even fit a twin bed in there.
In your opinion, does this design impair the character of the neighborhood and the appropriate use of the surrounding properties?
No, in my professional opinion, the design enhances the neighborhood by replacing an aging home that is quite literally falling apart with every storm. And it's a thoughtful design to bring back to the neighborhood.
And so in going through this process, did you walk the neighborhood, you understand how all the other houses around it are styled and what's going on down there?
We've taken several looks, we have several photos. We put things together as we were designing to make sure everything conforms with kind of what is there now. We don't want it to stick out, look like it doesn't belong on that street.
Are there other developments going on in this area?
Yeah, directly on Major Arnold to the left and to the right of us. The left, there is a new build. To the right, they did extensive renovations, and then a lot of the houses to the left also have either rebuilt or raised their houses as well.
And would you say this design is compatible with those houses?
Absolutely.
And in your opinion, is the requested relief minimal and reasonable to the enjoyment of the permitted use to which the property is proposed to be devoted?
Yes. The relief is driven by the property's coastal location, floodplains, and requirements. And it's not an effort to maximize the size of this house whatsoever.
And if the variance is not approved, would it amount to more than mere inconvenience?
In my opinion, yes. Without the requested relief, I think it would be extremely difficult to create a functional, code-compliant, forward-thinking home that accommodates to the homeowner's family needs. And the existing home has a very inefficient layout. This design was thought through very concisely, and yes, I think it would be.
Thank you. Unless the board has questions?
You mentioned that some of the other houses in the area have either been, full rebuilds or remodels, and they did raise. Do you happen to know, or did you happen to look at whether or not the height on those houses exceeds the?
There is a slight slope to the street, so I do know the house all the way to the left. I believe that's the one that is fully 3 stories. The one directly next to us to the left, I know they moved forward. One second, let me do that. So we can approach the board. This is the house directly here with what's kind of going on right now.
Thank you.
So this is 39.
Nope, nope.
Yeah, you have to be sworn in, but that's
To
okay.
talk.
But to talk, that's okay. We'll just mark this as exhibit 1.
Lindsay, if you'd like to speak.
Yeah, so the house directly in the middle is 39 Major Arnold. The house that's in the red with the sheathing on it right here is the one that's currently in construction. But as you can see over here, we have 3 levels. And I do have the staff photos from the neighborhood if you guys would like to look through it that do show several of their homes versus a rendering of their house.
So we
But
think that this house here probably is in excess of the height.
I would assume so, yeah. There is several other houses too in the neighborhood that are at 3 level, but these
Hear
are
what you're
available.
saying?
Those
You wanna
first
mark
2
these
photos
as-
are renderings of what
That's exhibit.
we would propose the house to look like. And the following photos is of Major Arnold and then the rest are of the properties surrounding the area.
Mr. Chair, was this witness recognized as an expert?
We didn't yet, but
Could I move to have the witness recognized as an expert?
yes.
In what field?
And is it,
We're in
interior
interior
design?
Thank you.
Do you want to mark these photographs as well?
Please.
What do you want them back?
No, we had these from our, from the last meeting too, so.
We're gonna mark them.
Just have a
What I'm
question.
going to do is mark these collectively as 2 A, B, C, D, so we don't,
This is
we'll just mark it
okay.
2. We need a lot more. 2,
Oh, okay.
2A, 2B, 2B.
Okay. So that's,
Let's just put them, yeah, let's just put them all, let's put them all together, just make that
Yeah.
exhibit 2.
and this is a rendering of what it's gonna look like?
Yes.
I just have a question. Is there a way to stay within the square footage, like bedrooms or the length? So 40-something square length, like 27. Is there a way to just make it so it can conform, so it doesn't, you don't have to ask for
The more and more
forgiveness of it?
we did design it, so this house, the family that purchased this home is a very large family, blended family, they have a lot of children and grandchildren. So as we were designing, we were trying to keep that in mind when they all come here, because they do use this as like a place to gather with their family. Every time we go to put in queen size bed, king size bed, any of those things, it was just getting very, very tight. And right now there is 2 pretty decent sized living spaces. There's a smaller living room on the first floor and a very large red rec room for like the grandchildren upstairs, which she did enjoy. I mean, you want a place for the kids to run around. So in my opinion, personally, no, it was getting very, very tight to even put the dining room table in there at one point. So we tried our best, but it is, I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think any of these rooms are, you know, crazy big. And we did try to configure it several different ways, so that room that is on the right, yes, it's a little bit longer. That's meant to be for the grandchildren if, you know, if there's several kids sleeping over. But
What's the height of the upstairs ceilings,
Lisa, the front
8
room?
feet. They're both 8
8
feet, first
8
floor and
feet,
second
yep.
floor.
with no cathedral ceiling?
No.
Flat ceilings.
It said 8, 9 in the plans.
Could you go to the,
I don't have the set printed.
the section should be in here. We could put the-
Do we have the section drawing?
Actually, 8.1.5.
It's 8, 1? Oh, okay.
If it does it say if it's finished floor or finished ceiling? Because if that's showing 8.1.5, that may just not be accounting for finished surfaces.
It looks like it's finished to finish, yeah.
We did try to be very conservative, not go overboard. I mean, we don't have, triple stacked cabinets and crazy big areas. But this family can be 12 plus people and then grandchildren, and just tried to keep that in mind as we were going through our design and make it comfortable for everyone here.
Do you have the square footage of the bedrooms?
Wait, do you have that in your plan?
They're not listed individually, but the dimensions are pulled, we can do some math.
Most of all the bedrooms, well, 3 bedrooms that are not to the right side of the house, they all fit either a queen, and if I put a king in there, they're very, very small with maybe like an 18-inch nightstand next to it, and you're smooth by. So they're not, it's not like I can get benches in there, massive walk-in closets, and the only thing that we did add to this home is a half bathroom. So it stayed 4 bedrooms, did not add any bedrooms to it, but we did add a half bathroom just on the first floor. Right now on the first floor, it is 2 full bathrooms. We moved that other one upstairs, did a small one. We did a very, very small laundry closet. We don't have a full laundry room or anything
I
like
could,
that. That's the only bathroom.
the primary bedroom is only 166 square feet. It's about 13 feet 6 by 12 feet 4, which is not very large.
The others look like they're about 11 by 10,
They're
11 by
They are
12.
smaller.
So no chance for a bunk room in that big long building.
No, I see her putting a couple of twin beds, to be honest. We have a lot of grandchildren. We also have massive windows in there. I can't say what her future plans are, but
Any other questions of this witness? Thank you very much.
thank you.
That concludes our presentation. We'll certainly entertain questions when time comes.
Are there any other proponents of this application in the audience that want to speak? Hearing none, are there any opponents that would like to speak? Come on up, sir. You have to be sworn in. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you give in the matter now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So help you God. Please state and spell your full name for the record.
Frank Bottari, F-R-A-N-K, B-O-T-T-A-R-I. I live at Captain Freebody Road. So I know the neighborhood very well, been there for 14 years. It's a nice design, but the house is too big for that house. We have a town ordinance that house is voluntary demolished. It needs to adhere to the current zoning regulations. And then we have a provision for asking for variances. That was, I guess, made clear just this year that was added in. But a couple things. So I'm actually against the floor increasing, the floor area ratio, and also the height. And in the requirements of granting a variance, there's, we'll talk about hardship. And there are a number of items that try to define what that hardship is, and that hardship needs to be demonstrated. And I really haven't heard what that is. I hear questions, if this is not, if the variances are not granted, would this be more than a mere inconvenience? That just seems backwards to me. So we have a proposal to demolish the building, a clean sheet of paper, and we know what the constraints are, what the limits are, due to all the zoning ordinances. I feel that we should be able to design the house to those, not design it and then come back and say, there's going to be the floor area ratio, and I've seen there was a lot of work, and the whole reason, the purpose of that floor area ratio is so that the size of the house is proportional to the size of the lot. And I think there's a lot of good work, and it's well defined what that is. So those parameters are already known before the design. And I think saying that floor area ratio, limits what you can do with the house, well, that's really what it was designed for, to limit the size of the house when you have a small lot. And yes, you do have a small lot. But the house should be, house should be designed appropriately for that. So I'm having a hard time seeing what the hardship is. As far as the roof, the height of the building, that house next door, 43 Major Arnold, that was demolished in this past year. That's still under construction. They put in a pier foundation, elevated the structure. Their height is 27 feet. So it can be done. I really think it's in the design. I mean, it looks like a nice building, but a two-car garage is the cause for needing a height variance. And that height variance is, relative terms, is 15.8%. I mean, it's not insignificant. So for those reasons, I'm against those two. As far as not adversely affecting the neighborhood or changing the character of the neighborhood, what we're seeing along the water are, and this has happened in the past year, this will be the third demolition, 3 houses in a row, one to the left, one to the right. The one to the left, the one to the right were branches. So these are large, really small lots, large buildings, and going up in height. Where this property is situated is right at the end of Captain Freebody Road. So you turn the corner from Ocean Road, and it's right at the end. If you get driving, you run into it. Yeah, it does affect every house on Captain Freebody Road. There are 13 or 14. And you can see it. You can see their decks. That's where the whole neighborhood gets the view down there. So now we're seeing it has changed. We have one, the house on the right is now finished. House on the left is under construction. Now we put the one in the middle. And yes, I mean, I would just ask them, keep to what the ordinance and the zoning ordinances are, and not go further than that. I don't see a good reason. I don't see a hardship. I feel that it can be designed to fit those requirements, but it hasn't. Another thing, as far as fitting into the neighborhood, there are very few houses that have garages. And I don't think there's one that has a 3-car garage. The one, 2 houses to the left and to the north, there's a fake second garage. It's really just a closet when you put 2 garage doors in. And I don't even know if that is a garage on the right side. So 2-car garages are not there actually any. That's the only other one with a garage. On Major Arnold, along the water. Captain Freebody, those 14 houses have maybe 1 garage. So it's not common in the neighborhood. So it's very good. And I think the garage, the 2-car garage, makes the house look too large for that lot. So I think, the FAR was enacted for a reason, and this is the reason, and trying to get a handle on it. I mean, there are changes, you know, I see that, but I just ask that we keep it to the zoning ordinances, what we have today. And both for the far and for the height. The height, there's another requirement for the granting of the variance. You know, it said the zoning board should consider access to air, light, views, and solar access. I don't know what that means exactly. But from my standpoint, you know, it takes longer in the morning to see the sun come up over those houses, but that's east facing. And I would like to see the house designed within the constraints that we have. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents that would like to testify? Do you want to offer any rebuttal or comment on the?
Sure. Just comments, and I mean, we appreciate the feedback, certainly. Speaking to the views down Captain Freebody Drive, I mean, there's already a dwelling there. I'm not aware of any view easements or anything like that we have to deal with. The product, and I think Mr. Khaleesi spoke to it, is that there's an issue with where the BFE lies at that mid-level. You have to make a choice. Do we want to just have a 4-foot crawl space, essentially, and have 2 stories above it, or do you use that space as a garage, other storage spaces there, which results in having excess height there. Since there's already a 2-story dwelling, we don't want to just have 1 story above the garage, because we lose half of our floor area. So I think the hardship was demonstrated by Mr. Khaleesi that, you know, based on the current situation of coastal living, with this prudent design, we really want to conform to these FEMA requirements. We have a house there already. We want to replicate that design. Otherwise, I think we are complete with our presentation. I did want to make one comment, though. The state statute, which speaks to building height, we haven't pushed on this, but it does mention that in addition to being measured from the BFE, you're really supposed to be given 5 feet of freeboard from that. And I think we could consider that garage space is the freeboard up to the design flood elevation. And Mason can speak to that. I just wanted to make that comment for your consideration.
We have some thoughts from Troy on that comment, since we're not contractors, builders.
So, Mr. Chairman, there's actually 2 things that I want to bring up that would probably help with your decision. The relief that's being requested is 4 foot 2 5/8 for the height variance. That's actually incorrect. It should be a foot less than that, and that they would need. The reason for that is when you, for our town ordinance, when you base the overall height in a flood zone area, whatever you have to raise to come up from grade to BFE, then there's a chart that essentially dictates how high you can go. And when we were originally doing that calculation, we accidentally went to the DFE, which is the design flood elevation, which is the base flood plus 1 foot of freeboard. However, in our ordinance, it states the BFE, so that therefore decreases the overall height that they would need to look for. As far as the, yes, state law basically says that you have to have at least 1 foot of freeboard, but you can have up to 5 feet of freeboard. It depends on how the towns look at it for ordinances, if it's in their ordinance. I don't know if that helps your decision at all, but they actually.
Yeah, maybe if you define freeboard so we specifically understand what that is.
Yeah, so freeboard is basically, the base flood elevation is where we assume from off of sea level that in what they call a 100-year storm, but it's actually a 1% chance every year, that the flood waters could rise. That freeboard that they're talking about is basically an extra 1 foot of caution, if you will, because they're expecting the water to rise to that elevation, whatever it is. In this case, it's a BFE of 17. So that extra foot is supposed to help keep the rest of the structure safe and out of the flood zone. So again, you have that 1 foot that's mandatory, and you have the option to go up to 5 feet. And it's a well-known fact that basically our sea level rise is increasing year after year after year. So FEMA, as the government, wants to make these houses more resilient. So that basically if we have these storm situations, that if we're not throwing good money at that, because it costs every taxpayer money for the storm relief. So if we can elevate these structures up out of the flood zone, then the idea is that it would be less of our money that has to go into rebuilding them in an event.
So is it in the ordinance that, does Narragansett go to the 5 feet, or is Narragansett just going to the 1 foot? What's,
I don't think it states, to be honest.
okay.
The 1 foot is required by building code, which is state law. And I don't believe that, I don't know of anything in there that states if there's a minimum even on the minimum.
No, there is not.
But the height, the need for the extra height is not because they're going beyond the 1 foot of freeboard. They chose to stay, they didn't take the option of doing 5 feet, right?
Correct.
So they're staying, so, I mean, I don't see the relevance of the
Well, we
the
essentially
5 feet
did.
freeboard then.
Because our,
Well, hold on.
sorry.
So I don't see the relevance of the, well, we could add 5 feet of freeboard, therefore we're within the height if we add, but you're not adding it, so what's the,
Right, the 5 feet of freeboard basically, I mean, the way that our height works in a flood zone, if you added the freeboard, then that would increase the design flood elevation. But the way that our ordinance is written, it's measured from the base flood elevation. So even if you increase the design flood elevation,
I mean, I can see the argument that, oh, we're above the height restrictions because we decided we feel better that there's 3 extra feet of freeboard or
Right.
something. That's not what's happening here, they're sticking with the,
they're sticking to the
Right.
mandatory
okay.
required height. But again, that extra foot of freeboard is not what our ordinance bases its height off of. It's actually the base flood elevation.
Oh, okay, all right, so it's that 1 foot that they have to do,
The 1 foot they have to do, but it's already kind of
and that's what's
calculated.
causing the extra height.
That's what's causing the miscalculation for
Oh, the 1 foot,
the height
okay,
variance.
money already,
Yes.
right, okay.
So they're gonna be over 3.5 feet versus the 4.5.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
they would need relief of 3 feet 2 5/8 of an inch as opposed to 4 feet 2 5/8 of an inch.
But this isn't really about there being garages. This is about them meeting the 17 feet in order to be outside of the flood zone elevation, right?
Correct. You can't have any living space in a flood zone of any kind. You also can't have any mechanicals. All of those items have to be elevated up out of the flood zone. So however they design the house is up to them, but basically you need to make provisions so that, again, all the, your water heaters and all those things, your AC ducts, all of that stuff is up and out of the flood zone.
And where are those?
Well, because they've moved it forward, so they're out of the flood zone now, right, or no?
Correct.
Right, but they said they're complying with the BE, so
Well, that's what I
where's
mean,
the?
so that if they constructed it where it is now, they would have to elevate everything, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because it would be in
Okay,
the,
so you can't put the mechanicals on the ground, so where are they?
They could be either suspended from the first floor flooring system
garage.
in the garage, or they could potentially be in the attic. But it's more
Attic.
more
Okay,
likely,
so you're not-
it's
they're not-
more likely that we will need to have units in the garage.
If I can speak. So we did make a mechanical room.
just so the stenographer knows who's talking, you could just.
So we did make a mechanical room here with everything suspended. As you can see, even from the design, we don't have that much extra space to really put everything. And also all of these walls here are breakaway walls, so they are meant to break away with the house if there is a flood, so flood waters can go right through. And mainly, that side garage is basically storage for beach things and stuff like that. We don't have, crazy closets in this design or anything. It's not meant to, have 5 cars sitting in the driveway and use the garage space.
Thank you.
So if I'm reading the plans correctly, the 17 BFE, so there's 6.9 feet of area above 17, that's the garage.
Correct.
Can I just ask a question? So in this case, our freeboard would technically be the distance from the BFE to the bottom of our lowest horizontal structure network.
Correct, because it's in the BE zone.
So our freeboard would be 17, but that's, I can't read that. I don't know if you guys can. 6'6" minus whatever that structural number is, which say it's a foot. So our freeboard is technically 5'9", just for clarity.
So throw in one other question for Nick. So we run into this FAR variance request multiple times. And it's still not clear to us whether or not we can even grant a FAR variance. Do we have authority to do that?
I certainly think we have. I mean, this board has done it a number of times. It is a dimensional standard, and you have the ability to grant variances from dimensional standards.
Are there any other questions before we?
Personally, I just have a hard time, basically, we're dealing with a 5,000 square foot lot. And it's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. That's a lot on a 5,000 square foot lot.
That's what's there now.
But it's not functional. I think that the designer was saying it's, triangle rooms or something like that.
But they're also reducing lot coverage, right? So they're actually, the actual footprint of the house is smaller than what, and, because, so you're actually making it better on the 5,000 square foot lot, making it look better because it's smaller.
It's smaller, non-conforming, yeah.
Right. Like what, 80% of the lots in the.
It just seems like it's such a little bit of, are we gonna just keep moving the line,
I get it.
moving the line, and we get
I
higher
say
and
it.
bigger, and what are we doing to Narragansett?
I say it all the time. I tore down my house, built another one, had to comply with FAR. Wanted to add a few more feet, I complied with FAR. I didn't go above the height. I get it. I know that, but,
It's just,
Well, is there a motion, is there anyone else who wants to speak in opposition to this? If not, is there a motion to close the, oh, go ahead, ma'am.
I'll just add a couple things. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony given in the matter now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please state and spell your full name for the record.
Last name is B-O-T-T-A-R-I. I just want to add a couple things that my husband didn't mention.
You could just keep your voice up because it's hard for the stenographer to hear you.
Just
Thank
a
you.
couple things that I want to add that my husband didn't mention. First off, these are new owners. They did not live in that house before ever, so the way they talk about it is we want to have the same thing, but they didn't own that house before. Okay, that was one thing. The second thing is that, yes, the house is smaller in terms of FAR, but the difference is before all the decks were included in FAR, and now they're not included in FAR. So the house is going to look more massive, but it's, even though they're saying it's the same footprint, you know what I mean? So that's the difference. Because now where these little porches and the deck is, that's all now going to be a house. and it's gonna be 1 story higher because of the garages. So it's just gonna be more massive, even though it's the same number of bedrooms. That's all I have to say.
Anybody else?
I just want to clarify, my calculation for the existing for the existing house does not include the decks. It includes the first and second floor living, and it includes the enclosed porch that is a conditioned space.
Got it. All right, is there a motion to close this hearing?
Motion to close?
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Jill, on this matter, I mean, it seems, this one's a little bit more complicated than the normal ones we have, so I'm just wondering if it makes more sense to write an opinion, someone write a decision, rather than give an oral decision tonight. I just think it needs more thought. There's been a lot of questions, there's a lot of issues.
Mr. Chairman, someone on the board, right, draft this decision for you as you've done in the past?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You could certainly do that. I might recommend, and if Nick disagrees with me, he can tell you, that you don't close tonight.
All right, so not even, so reopen the hearing?
Uh,
I mean,
You wanna close and go for a decision only? You already closed, you can go decision
yeah, I
only.
mean, I think just
Mhm.
for a decision only.
Yeah,
Does that
you
make
can do that,
sense? So
you can
that,
certainly do that.
or do you feel like you have enough information without thoroughly going through the packet and everything? There's a lot of information here.
There is a lot of information. I'm not gonna be at the next meeting.
You're not gonna be at the next meeting?
You will still have a quorum.
You still will have a quorum, so I can assign someone else. John,
I'll be there.
you will be here? Okay.
Will we
So,
have the rest of you here?
1, 2,
Ms.
3,
McKnight, will you be here next month?
4,
Yes.
Thank
5.
you.
So we'd have a quorum. Well, let's find out.
Ms. Cordo's checking.
I'll be here.
You can continue it to next month for decision.
Yeah, so I think what we're gonna do is continue it till next month for
Actually-
a decision.
I take that back. You have to reopen. The law says you have to make a decision within 15
No.
days of the closure. So you need to
Because
reopen,
we're
just so
gonna
you
do
don't run
30
afoul
days.
of, it's a toothless mandate, but don't
Yeah,
run
yeah,
afoul of it
all
if you
right,
can
all
avoid it.
right, so is there a motion to reopen the hearing so that we can render a decision on August 20th?
Motion to open.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And John Ball?
Continue for decision.
Yes. Everyone okay with that?
You need a motion.
Motion, is there a motion to put this on for a decision on August 20th, 2026?
Motion to move it, a decision on August 20th, 2026.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye. He's the chairman, so who's going to do it?
Mr. Cole.
First, correct, unanimous. All right, thank you, everybody. We have a couple of administrative matters, I think. I don't know, should we continue those to next meeting? I mean, we've already taken care of
You already did your quorum.
we already have a quorum. And, well, it said rules of procedure, discussion, update, possible action. Is there anything?
So we do, I'll let Ms. Naylor handle it. It's her project.
Okay.
Sure. So our department is in the process of updating the rules of procedure for the zoning board specifically. But I think we've come into some more meticulous edits that we want to make. So if we could kindly have a bit more time with it and possibly present that to you guys and to our solicitor, so that they have a copy to review as well. That's overall the intention is for the solicitor to have the opportunity to look at it. So before we can present it to you, So with that being said, if we could table that to possibly next meeting?
One comment I have about that is the procedure is, and because we've run into this now multiple times, is that at the last minute, Thursday, Friday, lawyers are submitting things, Troy doesn't have a chance to look at them, Nick doesn't have, we don't, and they expect that, you know, I'm not sitting around waiting on Wednesday night for a packet of information to read stuff. I don't think anybody is here. So I wish there could be something that, something in the rules that say if you're gonna submit a memo or something, that it has to be a week before or whatever, some time frame. And now I'm saying that not knowing, like if I file a zoning application today, when is it gonna be on for hearing? You know what I mean? What's the parameters on that? So if I came into your office today and say I want to file this application, when is it going to be on for hearing?
Sure, a hearing with the zoning board, and so
Yeah.
you know it's a two-step process.
Yeah, I know you have to go to the planning board, but when is it ultimately going to be here?
Sure, so typically what we tell folks, it's, the projects run in chronological order. So you could be first on the list, you could be, you know, fifth on the list. We try to get as many on as we can at the planning board level. The planning board does do other things besides public hearings for zoning. They, you know, they do recommendations to town council, they're doing subdivisions, they have other deadline associated projects that they also need to get through. I will tell you, with the last 4 years of changes in the state law, you see a lot less applications than you used to. So it's very rare that something gets held back because the planning board agenda is too big. So it's a 2-month process, Mr. Chairman. So if you walked in today, July 20th, you're gonna go to the 23rd, you're gonna go to the August planning board meeting and September zoning board meeting.
All right, so my point is that the parties and the lawyers who are maybe representing them know well in advance
They do.
when this hearing is going to take place.
Oh,
It's
the
just
zoning board,
happening-
absolutely, they know a full month in advance.
All right, so, I don't know how everyone else feels about that, but at the last minute getting like big packages of information, I mean, I don't have time to, if I get something on Wednesday, I'm telling you right now, I'm not reading it. I'm not, I don't have time, and maybe after, then, you know, there's been a lot of effort, I'm sure, put into those things, but it's not fair to us.
So I just want to if I may, just clarify, you're not referring to the packet that you get of information they get from
No,
staff,
no.
you're referring to things that come in
Yeah, that
after.
things come in after the fact,
Sure.
all the time, and that,
Mhm.
it's not really fair to us, and I mean, maybe the warning will be that we're not gonna render a decision on that, and if you've given us additional information after, you know, we've gotten this, that you want us to rely on, how do we digest all that? It just doesn't seem,
Well, I think it,
We're addressing, are we not?
I think
Is it
it
not?
does say in there that if materials come in within 10 days of the hearing, staff may not have time to look at it, and the board may defer a decision based on that. But I think maybe that needs to be stressed to people, that if you're submitting stuff, you know,
Yeah,
day
you expect
before,
us to rely
then
on it.
there's a potential and possibly a likelihood that you will then be deferred, because of your tardiness with
To
materials.
Mr. Ball's point, a one-size-fits-all could hurt the board, hurt staff if it's a firm no if you submit something within 7 days of. Maybe the board is happy to get that submitted. Maybe it's a minor thing that's clarifying a project,
yeah,
and you can resolve a project because of a late submittal. But
right.
I like Mr. Ball's comments, and I think what we currently have, or maybe the procedure we've been using, where you reserve the right to say, I didn't have time to submit this, I can't consider this application. As a board, we're going to continue. But I don't have any problem with in your procedures, caution to people who are going to submit late. Because I hear from lawyers a lot, maybe they're working with Jay or working with staff, and, oh, we made a tweak, we think this is a lot more palatable to the board, we think we're in a position to succeed. And that may be in front of, or received by you a few days beforehand, where you might not have a problem with it. It might be something quick to digest. So just careful with the hard and fast rule that we're not considering anything, because you might want to.
I believe that's the way it's written in the draft, is it's the board's choice.
Okay.
We tell them the staff won't be able to look at it, but it's the board's choice.
To defer the actual hearing, or just to defer a decision, or both?
To defer the application,
Okay, to another time.
yeah, to the
If-
hearing.
I think it's well within your right regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could give them the option, if they want us to go forward, we're not gonna rely on their,
Right, knowing that
whatever the heck
material
they've
will be
submitted to
considered.
us late.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I just wanna make sure it works. for you.
We'll review the language with the solicitor too, to make sure that it gives you the option to either accept it if you choose to, or defer it to or continue it to the next month. Sometimes your hearings are open for 2 or 3 times, and
Yep.
you might wanna continue it as opposed to a deferral, which is not yet opened.
Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I don't like it when staff is reviewing, or forced to have a fire drill, right? Because that's when bad decisions are made, in my opinion.
All right, well, we've covered that. And the last thing is the approval of minutes from, amended minutes from May 21st, 2026, and the minutes of June 17th, 2026. Is there a motion?
Were the June minutes in your packet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, they're not in mine, that's why I'm asking.
I don't think they were.
Okay, would you do one and maybe continue the other?
Yeah, let's just, is there a motion to approve the May 21st, 2026 as amended minutes? Motion to approve. Second, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll put off till next meeting, the approval of the June 17th, 2026 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Is it up there?
And then there's one final matter, which is reports from staff on the comprehensive plan update.
So, Mr. Chairman, we're just noticing that that's not on your posted agenda, but it should be.
What? I have it on ours, the plan.
You have it on your version?
Yeah.
It says-
It
yeah.
was on the cover of the book, yeah. It's on the back. Section D,
Oh, good
as
goodness.
in David.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the second.
Oh, there it is.
All right,
Okay.
hidden.
So, so thank you. So the comprehensive plan update, as you may be aware, the town is updating its comprehensive plan. 2027 is we're targeting for on or before October 2nd, 2027 to have a locally approved plan before it goes to the state. It's a requirement. Otherwise, I think there's a little bit of grace time at the moment anyway, given by the state. But if we don't have a locally approved plan, we can't use it to make land use decisions, which is key. So the Community Development Department, with the Planning Board as the steering committee, is working to update the plan. We just had a full public workshop last week. I don't, maybe you're on the notice list, but it was all over socials. And there's a survey out, by the way, in case you haven't taken the survey. By all means, go ahead and do it. You can get to the link on the Community Development Department comp plan update website. That being said, we are looking for someone, voluntold from this board who might want to participate in stakeholder meetings.
I thought we nominated.
Did we already do this? I wasn't here, so I apologize.
Yeah, no, I think we nominated John.
We did nominate
We
you,
all stepped
Mr.
back,
Ball,
John
that's
is still
right.
here.
That's right, I remember you saying you weren't sure.
Take a step
My
forward.
apologies, you do not get out of it, you're in.
Fair enough.
Perfect,
Yeah.
thank you.
And the survey was great, by the way.
Yeah.
I took the survey.
Great, thank you,
Oh, it was
I'm
very
glad to hear
interesting,
that. You never know with surveys,
No.
you want it to be
No, it was
meaningful.
good. All
Other
right,
than
is
that.
there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So I have just one question for
Hold me
staff. Normally you take the books, but if we're gonna be looking at John writing an opinion, we kinda need this to be able to go through it. Is it okay to take that section out, or take the whole book?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Mr. Trinasan.
What would you prefer, take the book or just
Well,
take
at
the
least we
section?
only have one application in the
Yeah.
book anyway,
So
so
it's only one-
fair
so-
game, right?
So we can just keep the books this time?
Sure.
Okay. And who's gonna take all the exhibits?
No, we only have one.
I have to sign it.
right now. So they're looking-
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're not gonna give you a second book next month. If you
Right.
want us to stuff your book for next month, give it back to us. If you want to get the filler, we'll give it to you that
I'll
way.
take a filler.
Okay,
Otherwise, I won't be able to remember everything we went through.
sure.
I'll start marking these up, A, B, and C, and everything.
We're gonna need those though.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get those
Yeah.
back, Ms.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Exhibit 2, and I'll label them alphabetically.
Yep,
Okay.
before you go
Did we-
tonight, you mean.
Yes.
I think we
Yes,
already
thank
did
you.
that. We did a motion to adjourn, didn't we?
You did, but you called for it, no one did anything.
Yeah, I think I stopped here in the middle.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.